Manipulation is like an art form, and those who master it wield incredible influence. You might not notice, but skilled manipulators affect you daily. Today, I'll teach you how to use this art for yourself. By the end, you'll be shocked at how often these tactics have already been used on you. Believe me, you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned to uncover the unsettling truth. Ready? Let's begin. 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting happens when someone makes you question your reality. It's subtle, twisting events so you doubt your memory, judgment, and even your thoughts. Soon you'll wonder if maybe you did overreact or misinterpret things. The goal is to confuse you until you believe their version instead of your own. For example, you argue with someone, but by the end they've convinced you that you're the problem, even though they started it. Gaslighting creeps into everyday moments, and before long, you're second-guessing yourself. 2. Reverse psychology. Reverse psychology is simpler than it sounds. The manipulator tells you to do something, knowing you'll want to do the opposite. Say, I want you to quit drinking Coke, so I tell you, drink Coke for every meal. Skip water completely. Naturally, you'd start thinking maybe you shouldn't drink so much Coke. This trick plays on your need to rebel. Remember those times when someone told you can't do it, and you instantly felt like proving them wrong? That's reverse psychology at work. 3. Choice restriction. This tactic is sneaky because it looks like freedom when it's not. By limiting your options, the manipulator nudges you toward the decision they want. Here's an example. I give you 2 options: study, or do chores like washing dishes and sweeping. Obviously, you'll pick studying, which is exactly what I wanted. By narrowing choices, manipulators make people think they're choosing freely when really they're being guided. 4. Guilt trip. A guilt trip works by making you feel bad about past words or actions. It's especially effective on emotional people, because guilt lowers defenses and makes them more likely to comply. Have you heard phrases like, "You shouldn't have done that," or "You owe them an apology"? That's guilt being used against you. Once guilt sets in, you'll agree to whatever the manipulator wants just to ease the burden. 5. Manipulative negotiation. Ever been shopping and a salesperson says, "This is the best deal you'll ever find, trust me, it's unbeatable"? That's manipulative negotiation. They exaggerate quality, add pressure, or make you feel you'll lose out if you don't act quickly. The whole aim is to corner you into saying yes, leaving you convinced you had no real alternative. 6. Amplifying issues. This tactic is all about exaggeration. The manipulator inflates a small issue into something urgent or frightening. You'll see it during conflicts when someone takes a minor problem and blows it out of proportion to make it look serious. This creates panic and pushes you to act without thinking things through. The drama is intentional. It clouds your judgment. 7. Love bombing. Love bombing happens when someone overwhelms you with affection, praise, and attention. At first it feels amazing. Who wouldn't want to feel adored? But once you're hooked, they start using that bond to control you. Suddenly, you're made to feel guilty if you don't return their affection or follow their way. It's manipulation disguised as kindness, and one of the most dangerous emotional traps. 8. Silent treatment. The silent treatment is a cold weapon. The manipulator ignores you to punish and unsettle you. By withholding communication, they make you anxious, confused, and insecure. Eventually, you'll be the one reaching out, apologizing, or fixing things, even if you weren't in the wrong. It's a calculated move to make you chase after their approval. 9. Triangulation. This tactic introduces a third person into your conflict to create pressure. The manipulator may say, "Even so-and-so agrees with me," making you feel outnumbered or unsupported. It's designed to put you in the wrong by suggesting that multiple people are siding against you. The aim is to isolate you and weaken your stance. 10. Flattery. Flattery might seem harmless, but in manipulative hands it's a trap. Excessive compliments can lower your guard and make you more cooperative. Once you're feeling good from all the praise, you're more likely to agree to what they want without questioning motives. I've got a full video on this tactic on my channel which you can check out later. 11. Scarcity. Scarcity makes you believe you'll lose something valuable if you don't act fast. Marketing uses this constantly. Limited time offer, or only 2 left in stock. These phrases trigger urgency, pushing you to act immediately, even if you're unsure. It's a clever way to pressure you into decisions you wouldn't normally make. 12. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail uses your feelings against you. The manipulator triggers guilt, fear, or anxiety to get their way. They'll say things like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this," or, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" This tactic forces you to act out of fear of losing their approval or affection. In fake concern. This tactic pretends to be about care. The manipulator acts like they're worried about your choices, saying things like, "I'm only telling you this because I care." But beneath the surface, their true goal is control. It's influence hidden behind a mask of kindness, designed to steer your decisions. 14. Blame shifting. Blame shifting is dodging responsibility by placing it on someone else, often you. Confront them about a mistake and they'll flip it. "Well, you made me do it," or, "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." Suddenly, you're apologizing for something that wasn't even your fault. That's how quickly they turn the tables. 15. Playing the victim. This tactic is all about gaining sympathy. The manipulator paints themselves as helpless or unfairly treated to avoid accountability. Lines like, "Everyone's against me," or, "You don't understand what I'm going through," are classic. It shifts focus away from their actions and onto comforting them instead of addressing the issue. 16. Negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement removes something unpleasant only when you behave a certain way. For example, a boss may lighten your workload only after you agree to overtime. It looks like they're helping, but really they're manipulating you into extra effort by dangling relief. It's pressure disguised as a favor. 17. Passive aggression. Passive aggression is indirect hostility. Instead of addressing issues openly, the manipulator uses sarcasm, subtle digs, or quiet sabotage. Imagine someone saying, "Oh, you're the expert, I'll stay out of it," but they mean the opposite. It leaves you puzzled, because their real anger is hidden under a fake politeness. 18. Love withdrawal. Love withdrawal is emotional blackmail's cruel cousin. The manipulator threatens to take away love, affection, or attention if you don't give in. It's designed to trigger your fear of rejection or abandonment, forcing you to comply just to keep the relationship intact. 19. False promises. False promises trick you into thinking you'll be rewarded later if you comply now. For example, someone might promise a raise or promotion if you work extra hard. But when the time comes, they always have an excuse. You keep giving effort, but they never deliver. It's a classic bait and switch. 20. Isolating. This method focuses on cutting you off from your support system. Manipulators don't want anyone else guiding or advising you, so they gradually separate you from friends and family. They'll say things like, "Those people aren't good for you," or, "Why do you need them when you have me?" The aim is to make you depend on them entirely, which makes controlling you much easier. 21. Fear-mongering. Fear-mongering is using fear as a weapon to influence your choices. The manipulator exaggerates risks or consequences to make you feel unsafe. You'll hear things like, "If you don't do this, your whole life will fall apart," or, "Everyone else is already doing it. If you don't, you'll be left behind." The tactic breeds anxiety, pushing you to follow their lead out of fear of disaster. 22. Future faking. Future faking is when someone makes big promises about what lies ahead to get something from you now. They'll paint vivid pictures of a wonderful future together, claiming, "We'll build an amazing life." But those dreams never come true. The goal is to feed you false hope, keeping you committed to a situation they have no real intention of fulfilling. 23. Stonewalling. Stonewalling means shutting down communication completely. The manipulator refuses to discuss issues, saying things like, "I don't want to talk about this right now," or giving you cold silence. This leaves you feeling frustrated and unheard. By refusing dialogue, they dodge accountability and push you to either drop the matter or keep insisting, making you seem unreasonable. 24. Triangulation in relationships. This version of triangulation stirs jealousy or insecurity. The manipulator brings another person into the mix, often in romantic settings. They might flirt with someone else or praise another person in front of you. The goal is to keep you unsettled and desperate for approval, ensuring you compete harder for their attention. 25. False comparisons. A manipulator may compare you to others to weaken your confidence. They'll say things like, "Why can't you be more like them?" or so-and-so would never do this. These comparisons are unfair and unrealistic, but they work by making you feel inadequate and pushing you to overcompensate just to measure up. 26. Double bind. A double bind is when you're trapped no matter what you choose. The manipulator creates two conflicting demands, so either way you lose. They'll say, "You never spend time with me," but then complain, "Why are you always around? Don't you have anything better to do?" It's a no-win scenario meant to keep you frustrated and powerless. 27. Moving the goalposts. This tactic keeps you running in circles. Every time you meet their expectations, they shift the standard. One day you've done enough, but the next, they claim it's not sufficient and demand more. It's an endless cycle where success is impossible, leaving you constantly striving for approval that never comes. 28. Preemptive defense. Here, the manipulator defends themselves before you can even speak. They'll say, "I know you're going to blame me, but it's not my fault," or, "You probably think I did this on purpose, but I didn't." By cutting you off in advance, they discourage criticism and make you feel unreasonable for even raising the issue. 29. Playing dumb. When someone plays dumb, they pretend not to understand to dodge responsibility. You can explain clearly, but they'll reply, "I don't get it," or, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that." It's a tactic to stall, confuse, or wear you down until you give up on the issue. 30. Bait and switch. This tactic begins with an attractive offer, but once you're locked in, the terms change. For example, they may offer a job with a great salary, but after you accept, the pay drops or workload doubles. By then you're committed, making it harder to back out without serious consequences. 31. Minimizing. Minimizing means downplaying your concerns or feelings. If you say something hurt you, they'll respond with, "You're overreacting," or, "It's not a big deal." This tactic makes you question your emotions and doubt whether you're being reasonable, even when your feelings are valid. 32. Feigned helplessness. Here, the manipulator pretends to be clueless or incapable so you'll handle things for them. They'll say, "I don't know how to do this," or, "I'm terrible at this," leaving you to step in. It's a sneaky way to get others to do their work while they act innocent or overwhelmed. 33. Overloading with information. This trick involves burying you in excessive details, statistics, or irrelevant facts. By overwhelming you, they make it harder to focus on the actual issue. While you're distracted trying to sort through the noise, they slip in what they really want unnoticed. 34. Sympathy ploy. A manipulator might repeatedly highlight their hardships or trauma to gain your sympathy. They'll bring up how difficult their life has been so you'll excuse their behavior or go easier on them. It's playing the victim card to guilt you into overlooking their faults. 35. Pretending to forget. Convenient forgetfulness is another tactic. When reminded of a promise or responsibility, they'll say, "Oh, I completely forgot," or, "That slipped my mind." By forgetting, they avoid obligations without openly refusing, making it harder to hold them accountable. 36. Selective truth-telling. Here, the manipulator tells part of the truth but hides key details. They share just enough to appear honest, but leave out information that would change your perspective. This creates a false sense of openness while they still control the story. 37. Playing the savior. This move makes them look like a hero. The manipulator secretly causes or worsens a problem, then swoops in to fix it. You see them as your rescuer, feeling grateful and dependent on their help, even though they engineered the situation to begin with. 38. Using silence as punishment. This is a harsher version of the silent treatment. The manipulator cuts off communication for long stretches, leaving you worried and desperate for their attention. You start doubting yourself and may bend over backward to regain their approval, giving them even more control. 39. Black and white thinking. This tactic frames issues in extremes, leaving no middle ground. They'll say, "Either you're with me or against me," or, "If you don't do this, you must not care about me." It forces you into a corner where any choice outside their favor makes you seem wrong or disloyal. 40. False urgency. False urgency is when someone pressures you to act immediately, even though there's no real rush. They might say, "You have to decide right now," or, "This opportunity won't come again." The goal is to stop you from thinking clearly and force you into a quick decision that benefits them. By creating a fake deadline, they strip away your ability to reflect, leaving you vulnerable to choices you might regret later. So there you have it, 40 powerful manipulation techniques used in daily life. You'll find them in relationships, workplaces, and even casual conversations. Knowing these tricks gives you protection and awareness. Remember, the point isn't to manipulate others, but to guard yourself from falling into someone else's trap. A video on flattery and playing dumb is already available on my channel. Make sure to check it out before it's too late. You don't want to miss how these subtle tactics can shape and control people's behavior. Watch it now and sharpen your psychological awareness. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which tactic surprised you most, or if you've ever dealt with one firsthand. And of course, subscribe for more insights on psychology, self-improvement, and mastering the art of influence.